Okay, it is top of the hour now, so let's get going. And I want to thank all of you for taking the time out to join me for this webinar today called Reviews, Revenue, and SEO. My name is Dan Hintz. I'm the training guy over here at Review Trackers. And in this half-hour webinar, we're going to be talking about the importance of online customer reviews as they relate to your business in terms of generating revenue for your business and helping improve the search results for your business. Now, what we're going to be talking about in this training is basically three things. We're going to be talking, first of all, about how reviews drive search results for your business. Then we'll take a look at how reviews drive consumer behavior in terms of getting consumers to read reviews during the shopping process. Third, we'll talk about how reviews drive revenue for your business. And then at the end of my presentation, we'll open it up for a live Q&A and discussion at the end. Now, there is a chat box that's attached to the webinar control panel on your screen. And if you have any questions while I go through the content of this presentation, we have Emily Carl from Review Trackers on the line with me. She's an account manager, and she'll be more than happy to answer questions as we go. And like I said, if you want to pitch questions as well for the Q&A at the end, I'll be happy to take questions at the end. Okay, let's get into it. It cannot be overstated the importance of reviews to your business, especially when it comes to driving search results, or SEO as it's known, and driving clicks, and that is in terms of getting consumers to click on your listing when you pop up in search results at search engines like Google and Bing and Yahoo. So in the example slide we're looking at here, if you go up on Google and you search for a coffee shop near Chicago, you type in coffee near Chicago, results will pop up showing you coffee shops in the area. And so Chicago Grind comes up, and you can see that they've got 8 reviews on Google, and they have a 4-star, 3.8-star rating. What businesses are starting to realize is that once you have more than 5 reviews on your Google Plus listing for your business, the star rating, the gold stars, start to appear in your listing in the search results. They are affixed to the listing. And what data is showing is that the star rating, when it's displayed like that, it catches the eye of the consumer who's searching. And they're much more likely to click through and look at the reviews and ultimately click on the website for Chicago Grind. So it's extremely important for businesses to try and get reviews on their Google local listing so that that star rating is affixed in the results when they pop up in search results. And more generally, the more reviews that you have for your business, the higher up you're going to be pushed in search results on Google and Bing and Yahoo and other search engines like that. There's a tremendous amount of data that shows that the number of reviews that you've got for your business and the continual stream of reviews that's coming in about your business are two of the big things that's going to drive you up in search results. So getting reviews is absolutely critical in general for your business, and more specifically for Google+, it's what results in the visibility being increased in the search results. And that really ties in with our platform, because one of the coolest things about Review Trackers is that we've got an excellent way for you to generate new reviews, to get new reviews from your customers by triggering emails from our platform out to customers, asking them to write reviews about your business at Google+ or Yelp or other important websites like that. So getting more reviews is going to drive your search results, and it's going to increase the amount of customers that actually click on your listing in the search results themselves. Another big truism about search as it relates to reviews is that dynamic content, as they call it, boosts SEO. And what we're talking about really is that search engines reward fresh content with higher rankings. And one of the best examples of fresh content are reviews that are written online about your business. So continually getting your customers to write reviews at various review websites is indexed by search engines, and that's what pushes you up in the rankings as well. Continually having new reviews about your business appearing out there on the web. Now, dovetailing with that idea is the importance of responding to reviews when reviews are out there. And one of the coolest things about the review tracker system is that we give you in the review management piece of our platform an excellent way to quickly respond to reviews when you need to, like when you get a negative review that we have pulled in from, say, Yelp or Google. And what we know is the importance of responding to reviews is that that is considered dynamic, fresh data as well. Those responses that you write in response to reviews that are out there on the web. These responses that you write are picked up and indexed by Google, and this improves your overall SEO. And in terms of a best practice when it comes to responding to reviews, what we found is that if you reiterate keywords from the review when you're responding to the review, that also tends to improve your SEO performance. So if the review is critical about your business, about billing errors or a billing mistake or something like that, it makes sense when you're responding to the review to use the same language that they used, whether it's a billing mistake or a billing error, so that it's clear that your response is linked with the review. And again, in terms of a best practice, that tends to improve the SEO performance. The more dynamic, fresh data that you've got out on the web about your business, the higher up you get pushed in SEO search results. And responding to reviews, which you can do very easily through the review tracker system, is going to help you in that regard. In fact, what we know now is that reviews are one of the 5 most important ranking factors in search results. You know, there's a lot of data out there that talks about how Google algorithms work in terms of ranking businesses in search. And what they found is that reviews are in the top 5. Not the most important factor. There are other factors, of course, like you know, your name, address, and phone number matching, having basic information about your business out there being accurate and consistent across the web, that kind of thing. But coming in at number 5 in the most important ranking factors are reviews about your business. So it speaks to the importance of continually trying to get new reviews from your customers through a platform like Review Trackers. And, you know, it also, you know, in terms of a best practice here, when it comes to these factors in search results, I would urge you guys to make sure that all of your basic business information is up to date on all of the main review site profiles that are out there, whether it's Yelp or Google or Foursquare or TripAdvisor or whatever review websites that you have a profile at. You want to make sure that you claim that profile if you haven't already, and make sure that all the basic information like your name, address, and phone number is up to date and accurate and consistent across all your profiles. Make sure your business hours are updated and are accurate. Make sure your website address is listed on your profile. If they give you an option to upload a menu, if you're a restaurant, or if you can upload photographs of your business, or especially videos, do that, because these things can really help boost your SEO performance as well. What we found, especially with videos, is even if you've got a homemade video that you've made just walking around in your place with a camcorder, upload that to YouTube and upload that onto your profile at, say, Yelp or other review websites, and that will tremendously help because that's indexed very strongly. So all of these kinds of things can be very critical to your overall SEO performance, but one of the most important factors, as we keep coming back to, are customer reviews. Reviews, in fact, drive visibility on maps as well. As you probably know, if you've searched on Google Maps, the number of reviews actually affects the way you're displayed in the results. So in the example slide here, Busy Company, because they have 32 reviews through Google, the pin for them on this map is much larger than a competitor that has much fewer, fewer reviews. So you really stick out like a sore thumb, but in a good way, on maps. The more reviews that you've got. So again, it speaks to the importance of trying to get as many reviews about your business as possible, especially through Google Local. Through the review tracker system, we can help generate reviews there for your business. One of the big trends that we're seeing, and all kinds of data supports this, is that mobile review usage is up in a big way, 8% just in the last year. What this means is that more and more consumers are relying on reviews when they're trying to figure out, what restaurant to go to or whatever kind of a thing they're searching for. And they tend to do that on their mobile phone when they're out in the field, as they say, right? So people make their plans on the fly, as you guys know. And so if you're trying to figure out what restaurant to go to and you're out and about, you're probably just going to open up your iPhone or whatever and start to look at reviews as you're driving around or walking around and make your decision that way. And this is really, a very encouraging thing for you guys, because what this means is that the more reviews that you can get out there on the web about your business, the more likely it is that they're going to find those reviews about you and read them and then click through to your website or your menu or whatever that's attached to your profile. So the fact that more and more people are using their mobile phone to read reviews during this process of shopping, that bodes very well for you guys in terms of a trend. Now, we know as well that consumers more and more are relying on and trusting online consumer reviews. Here's a couple of stats. 72% of consumers trust online reviews as much as they trust personal recommendations from their friends or family. And 4 out of 5 consumers read online reviews before they make a purchasing decision. We know this in our personal lives. We're all conditioned to read reviews before we decide, what product we're going to buy or what business we're going to frequent. Online reviews are twice as more trusted than social networking likes. So, a lot of businesses spend a lot of money on social networking advertising. But what they found is that a lot of consumers, while they, appreciate the fact that a restaurant has tons and tons of people that like them on Facebook or follow them on Twitter, that doesn't translate into trusting that that restaurant is a good restaurant or that business is trustworthy. Whereas when they read reviews online about businesses or products, they're twice as more likely to, sort of trust the information or the recommendations that they get through reviews than social media likes or follows. And that touches on this next idea, which is reviews in a big way now trump social media advertising, because they're more trustworthy for the reasons we just talked about, and they're more inherently persuasive. And this goes for any kind of advertising. If you see an advertisement for a business on television, or you hear an ad on the radio, or you see a print ad, or you see some kind of an ad on social media, you take that message with a grain of salt because you know that's coming directly from the business. So what else are they going to say, right? Whereas when people read reviews, they tend to trust the validity of the reviews because they get a sense that these are average Joe consumers that are just giving their opinion about a business or a product. And even when there's great data that shows that even when consumers know that some of the reviews are fake, some of the best reviews are probably written by the business owner's cousin, or some of the worst reviews are written by some competitor down the street, they still tend to believe reviews as a whole. So if they see 50 reviews on Yelp or Google about a business and they know to toss out like the 5 best and the 5 worst, they still get an overall sense that these reviews can be trusted. They ring true to the person who's reading those reviews. And so, many businesses sink lots and lots of dollars into social media advertising. And it could be easily argued now that reviews provide a much bigger bang for the buck than money poured into social media advertising. So the other main thing that we know is that reviews really drive website conversion. Now, what does that mean? Well, it just basically means that when people read reviews, they tend to click through to the website for the business. Like if you're reading reviews about a restaurant, you're going to click on the website or the menu button so you can read their menu, right? And that's when they tend to make appointments, like if it's a dentist's office, or they buy products, if you're selling products on your website. More sales, more traffic, more appointments being made. All of that is driven by reviews kind of escorting the customer to your website, which really is going to help, again, drive business for your business. Now, more generally, philosophically, we know as well that reviews drive revenue. The more reviews you've got, the more healthy your business is going to be. The biggest and most important study in the reputation management industry that I've seen comes from the Harvard Business School. This is a study that came out in 2011, and they pointed out that a 1-star difference in your average rating for your business on the 5-star rating system can result in a 5 to 9% swing in revenue. So if you can move up from a 3-star business to a 4-star business, you're going to see a nice, healthy increase in business, people coming in the front door or clicking on your listing when they're searching for you. And conversely, if you happen to drop down a star rating, that can really negatively impact your business. So it's not just an ephemeral thing like, oh, it's nice to have reviews. It's absolutely critical for the economic well-being of your business to have excellent reviews and a good star rating. Second, 90% of consumers now say that their buying decisions are influenced by online reviews. This to me is an obvious, everybody knows this. When people read reviews on Yelp, they really do pay attention to the sentiment of those reviews. So they'll avoid businesses that have bad reviews. They will try out businesses that have excellent, glowing reviews. We all are basically conditioned to read reviews, and we're influenced by what we read in those reviews. And 4 out of 5 consumers now say that they will reverse a purchasing decision after reading negative reviews. You know, we like to imagine that we're very loyal to our favorite pizza place or our favorite bar or our favorite restaurant or whatever, but that's only until we start to read a few negative reviews. And that's where we will start to have, you know, a seed of doubt planted such that we'll start to think about trying out some of the other competitors that we've sort of, you know, not tried out so far. So these reviews that are being written about your business are absolutely critical in terms of attracting customers and keeping customers as loyal lifetime customers of your business. You know, there are a lot of search engine optimization professionals and consultants out there, and the consensus amongst SEO pros is that review management delivers excellent ROI for your business. And so when you're trying to decide whether to spend a whole bunch more money on advertising, like through social media or, you know, TV ads at 2 in the morning, or investing in a product like review trackers to grow the number of reviews you've got out there and effectively manage the reviews that are already out there on the web, this is where you're going to get good results for your business in terms of bottom line results. So take a look at that stat at the lower right. 83% of SEO professionals believe that managing online reviews absolutely delivers good ROI. And 61% of those SEO pros, they counsel their clients to ask customers for reviews every single time that they have contact with the customer. It's very important to get in the habit of always asking for reviews from your customers. And that's really where SEO pros excel, is in terms of counseling businesses on how to do that. And one of the best ways to do that is to get a program like review trackers, where you can easily trigger emails to your customers asking them to write reviews about your business immediately after they've had an excellent experience with you. One of the things we've also noticed is that different ratings that you get on reviews provide different insights for your businesses. So for example, the reviews you get that are 1- and 2-star reviews, those are the ones that are going to be the most helpful for you in terms of giving you quick insights and trends that you need to, you know, sort of focus on and nip in the bud over the next quarter so that you can improve your business. But even when you get like a 3-star review, that's telling you that you've got some wiggle room for improvement or innovation or to try some other things. And if you get a 4-star review, similarly, it's saying that you're, you know, doing quite well, but there's still some slight wiggle room for some innovation or some lateral thinking. If you're getting all 5-star reviews, then the message is don't mess with it. It's working great. Don't break it. Keep doing what you're doing. So the trends or the insights that you get from the different star ratings that you'll see in the system are going to provide you with some really helpful tools for managing your business. And, you know, this dovetails very nicely into a tool that we've got in our platform, which is a keyword search tool. So when you're on the review management page of our platform, up at the top, there's a search box where you can type in keywords that you have a hunch might be related to a trend, maybe, you know, front desk rudeness or something like that, and it pulls up all the reviews that have phrases like that or words like that. So in this way, by searching the content of the reviews in the review management page of our platform, you can sort of pull out insights and trends that will either, you know, verify what your suspicion was, or you'll say, oh, there aren't that many reviews actually that mention that. So that kind of thing. Very helpful. You know, reviews really define you as a business. Online reviews really make up your business reputation, and that's why they're so critical. You know, before the internet, that was not the case. Most of the time, when you ask someone what they thought about a business or a product, before, say, 1992, it would largely be sort of sketched out by the advertising that they saw about that business or a personal experience with that company. Well, now it's completely been flipped on its head. When you ask someone what they think about a business, you know, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when I say this business name? They're going to hearken back to the reviews that they've read online about that business, and that's largely going to sketch out the narrative of the reputation of that business. So it's absolutely critical that you sort of secure your brand and build your reputation by managing the reviews that are floating around out there about you and getting new reviews from your customers. Now, the problem with this, of course, is that it's very difficult to monitor all the websites that are out there with reviews about you. It's very hard to keep your eye on all these websites. And if you have multiple locations, it's all the more difficult. Like if you're a part of a chain of restaurants or a chain of hotels or something like that, very difficult to manage all the reviews for all the multiple locations and sort of figure out which reviews go with which location, that kind of thing. It's also very difficult to generate new reviews for most businesses. They know they need to do that, but they don't know how or what exactly works best. And review data is notoriously very hard to use in terms of getting your head around all of the information that's in all these reviews. What are the trends? What are the insights? And finally, typically there's no notification process. There's no way of you getting, some kind of a notification saying you've got a new review out there at TripAdvisor. So the Review Trackers platform, as you might guess where I'm going with this, addresses each of these issues very nicely, and that's why we're doing so well. How do we do it? Well, there's basically 4 things. At the upper right, we provide timely notifications. We have an excellent little aggregation tool that goes out on the web 3 or 4 times every day looking for new reviews about your business, and we pull those in automatically into our platform, and we trigger a little review alert by email. It goes to you saying, hey, Dan, you have a new review we just pulled in from Yelp. You should take a look at it. Second, we have intelligent reporting. So we take all the data and we present it to you on the dashboard of your platform, and you can print it out as a PDF or an Excel in terms of number of reviews we pulled in, the average sentiment on those reviews, what review sites we pulled them in from, what insights and trends can you identify. All of these kinds of things can be easily printed out on your dashboard and shared with the various members of your team. We also have an excellent centralized review management platform that you can work from. It's basically a page where we store all the reviews that we're pulling in from the web about your business, and from there you can respond to the reviews if you want to or need to, and you can also mark the reviews. So you can mark it as responded or not responded or in progress, like we're investigating, that kind of thing, so that you can sort of have all your team members on the same page in terms of managing all these reviews. And finally, we have an excellent review generation tool. It's basically an email trigger that allows you to quickly send an email out to one person or a group of people asking them to write reviews about your business at Google or Yelp or Facebook or whatever website you're trying to kind of gently nudge people over to. We also have an incredibly cool intelligent feedback tool that you can use within our platform. It helps minimize the negative risk of negative reviews to your business. So the way this works is it's an email template that you can send out to a customer that says basically, how likely is it that you would recommend Dan's Pizza? And then it's a 1 to 10 scoring range, 1 being unhappy and 10 being ecstatic. And if the customer gives you a good rating here on this scale, let's say 7 to 10, right? Then it bumps them over to a page that says, oh, wonderful. Can you take a second and write a review at Yelp, Google, or Facebook for us? We'd really appreciate that. But if they give you a somewhat less than stellar score on this range, let's say 1 to 6, then it takes them over to a page that says, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Dan. What could we have done better? Can you give us some details about what happened? So they write their, critique or their complaints or their gripe in this box, and they hit submit feedback. Well, this takes this feedback and it emails it to the manager of the business so that the business can work with that customer to resolve their issue, but it does not result in a negative review winding up online. So this intelligent feedback tool functions like a filtering mechanism to help you evaluate the sentiment of the experience, to help you capture increased reviews and capture feedback when necessary. So it's really a fantastic tool that will help you in all these regards in terms of getting new reviews. At the same time, you're effectively managing the customer sentiment in this way. So the bottom line is this: managing reviews through a platform like Review Trackers and generating new reviews are the 2 best ways to improve your search results and increase revenue.